All right, this is part 2 from yesterday on how to become a millionaire. This is part 2. My name is Marcus Thompson. How do you want to be a millionaire? Let's find out. Now, yesterday I touched on a subject about a personal employer that I had, where he said to be rich is to be a sourpuss, pretty much. Just pretty much a robot without any affections or feelings, things, it's just human nature. He pretty much put it in terms that it's inhuman to be rich and powerful. And I told you guys yesterday, I think the exact opposite. Because when you look back at those who are filthy rich, you notice a lot of similar traits. Some of them are a-holes, but with all due respect, is because they are straightforward. They cut out a lot of the fat in their lives. They cut out a lot of the BS in their lives because they got to get somewhere. Every move that they make is with purpose. And so to say a guy is lucky or he's this, he's that, that means that you have failed a lot at trying to become something that you always wanted to be. Rather it's a millionaire, rather it's a professional ball player, rather it's a high-end lawyer, a brain surgeon, or whatever it may be, you have failed for one reason or another, and it sounds as if you never recovered from that. Now, this guy, mind you, he will sit here and tell you that these millionaires are greedy, selfish, self-indulged. To a point you have to, but this guy is no different from them. It's just that he's broker. And what I mean by that issue is that I've been by his house once before, and he got this trailer, this little camping trailer that he pulls behind his $50,000 car. And that trailer itself is probably about 50, 60 itself. And he has like a $250,000, a $250,000 home. Well, I ain't gonna say $250,000. I would say it's no more than probably about $200,000 right now on the open market. I might be pushing the $250,000 mark. But nonetheless, he has toys, he has things. He even built a brand new shed in the back of that house with all this little land on the back. It's like a half an acre. And he built the shed with all this technology in it. And it drains so much energy that his electric bill is always sky high. It's always through the roof. And from what he told me, he has a family income of $100,000 a year, but yet they living from check to check. Amazing, right? And so you got to go back and think about this dude. Family house income is $100,000 between him and his wife. They got 2 kids. They got to pay for daycare. He got all these toys. He got a boat. He got this. He got that. But one thing he doesn't have that a lot of millionaires do have, and that's assets. If you're going to live like that, make sure that you don't have to be living from check to check. Because then you got to start questioning yourself, do I got to sell some of this stuff? And the answer a lot of times is yes. And if you don't want to sell some of that stuff, then it's your job to wake up early in the morning and go to bed late trying to figure out how to bring in more income to keep up with whatever it is that you like to do or whatever it is that you like to collect. That's just the nature of money. Money don't like ugly people. Ugly, how can I put this? Not necessarily ugly people. It doesn't like people treating it ugly. People with ugly attitudes towards money. Money is a pretty girl. It likes to be wined and dined. It likes to be noticed at all time. You always got to call money and say, hey, baby, how's it going? You got to sweet talk it. And the best way of doing that is by putting her in situations to succeed and to come back with friends. Not in a sexual way, but she's going to come back and show you, hey, I can work for you. You invested me in this asset. And now there's going to be more of me. There's more of me to give to you because you invested in me. You cared for me. You nurtured me. You planted that seed for me to grow. So here I am, fully invested. I'm bringing more into your life. I'm enhancing your life. And you know, a guy like that, his rebuttal will be money ain't everything. No, money ain't everything. Money doesn't buy you happiness. But what it does bring in the absence is misery and pain. Because money is the ultimate tool, the ultimate survival tool for you to get from one step to another. Don't ever let nobody tell you, say, hey, money is the root of evil. Not having it will cause you to be evil, will cause desperation. And ain't nothing worse than a man that's desperate for something, because that means he will fall for anything. He will give up his principles, his foundation of who he is and what he's about, all his beliefs, just to go get $1. When all he had to do in the first place was treat his money right. It's almost like a marriage. When you get that woman, and I'm a big believer in this, even though I fail at it miserably sometimes, or a lot of times, because I'm not, you know, an angel by any means when it comes to my marriage. But I still do know that I still got to date my wife. And there is still times where I make time for my wife, even if it means that I got to go to lunch, on a lunch date with her. I got to find some time with my wife. And that's the same thing you got to do with your money. You got to find time. You got to spend time with it, to learn it, to know it, to grow it. And that's the only way you're going to get something out of this life. Is by paying attention to life, and money is a big aspect of it. So don't be fooled into thinking that, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire overnight, and you don't pay that money no attention, because money ain't gonna make you a millionaire. Money is gonna make you broke, because she's gonna find somebody else who's gonna care for her and treat her good. You know, you're gonna go down, you're gonna buy $100 worth of cookies and cakes. Whereas somebody who pays money some attention is going to go down and invest her in stocks and bonds. It goes back to that old saying, butter and guns. At first, I didn't understand butter and guns. I used to think it was just some corny stuff made up. You know, it's just a bunch of blabble that people say in order for you to focus on how to treat your money. But when you really look at it, it's a whole lot of truth behind it. Butter, it just goes. Once it's gone, it's gone. You ain't getting it back. It doesn't mature. It don't do nothing. It just make you feel good right then, right there. Guns is something that's reusable, resellable. You can stock guns. You can shoot them all day, all night. And years later, you can sell it for more than what you bought it for, especially if it's a old school collectible. And mind you, I bring up guns because the guy that I just told you about, my old boss, was a gun collector, and he had at least about $3,000 or $4,000 in gun collecting. And so for him to sit here and tell me that millionaires are lucky, no. If you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, that's being blessed. What you do with it will determine how lucky you are. If you're going around being frivolous with your money, then yeah, you're lucky to still have money. You're lucky to have people in your corner that say, hey, this is what you should do with your money. But now, if you go around and you just invest wisely, always putting yourself in situations to make more money, that's not luck. That's playing the odds. You're not going to hit it big on everything, but if you keep playing, eventually something is bound to break. And when it breaks, it's going to be good. And when you learn why it broke, you're going to keep using that same strategy to keep getting the same thing. And you're going to keep mining for money that particular way until the well runs dry. And when the well runs dry, you're going to go back, figure out a new strategy, and you're going to do it all again. That's just how you become a millionaire. You know, put yourself in a position to become a millionaire. All right? Tell me some of your strategies that y'all got planned for 2018 that's going to put you in a position to become millionaires. I'm curious because a lot of people in my position don't do that. So I'm going to encourage you and challenge you to sit down and come up with ways that's going to put you in a position to make more money this year. Not necessarily become a millionaire, but just put yourself in a position to start that path. I know I got my path, and I'm going to talk about that later on down the road, probably within by the end of this week. But I'm Marcus Thompson for Boss Life. Click like, click subscribe, and I'm going to keep these rolling. Thank you.